Welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're going to discuss numerology name number one. So the name number one is governed by the sun, Surya, in the Vedic numerology. These guys in the Chaldean time, they look at it in a sense of there's beneficial planets and malefic planets. The sun, oddly enough, was actually considered a malefic, meaning negative, but it still does give you a lot of great powers, which we're going to go over today. There's different compound versions of the number one. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about different compound versions that you've calculated. And based on a lot of the urban, I guess, Chaldean sites, they make it seem as if the compound numbers go past 52. You see how there's 52 weeks in the year? That's for a reason. That's from these guys' time. They've originated our calendars. They've actually made things the way in which they are. There's a reason why you can't have a 13th floor in most apartments. Numerology has been around for a long time and has set a lot of precedents for a lot of things that we've naturally said but never acknowledged, such as 1111 and the different synchronicity between the numbers, tarot card readings. All of these things are offsprings of numerology, but people have failed to realize that. So delving into the topic today, we're going to go over the number one, but I'm only going over the compound numbers up to the number 52. In the prior chapter with numerology, I went over life path numbers up to the number 45 because that's where they've capped it. That adds to 9, that capped it there. With the 52, that stands for the 52 weeks in a year, and it also is just the cap number for name numbers. After that, you're running into just the same thing again. If you get like a 55, that's really just a 10. You get a 56, that's really just an 11, etc., right? So they've really capped it there, and if you do get a compound number that's above 52, you need to just add those two numbers together and then see if you get another compound number, and if you do not, then you literally have a single digit number name number in Chaldean numerology. And like I said, guys, what I'm trying to do in this chapter is help you guys with acknowledging and understanding the name that you go by the most causes a different attraction in your life. And it's not easy to reset it. I'm not saying that you have to go to the government and redo your name, but there's probably a name that you've gone by since you were a kid that just felt very comfortable to you, that's just kind of clicked, and that's the name that matters the most and needs to be acknowledged and appreciated, and then you need to realize how to use its potentialities to the maximum of your ability, okay? So with number one, as I was saying earlier, it's controlled by the sun. It's definitely the leader. It sort of could be a dictator. It could be very argumentative. This makes people very brave and seen as somebody who should be in charge, especially in group dynamics, such as teamwork on, like, I guess any sort of team that they're on, athletics, or if they're in the business world, of course, they're viewed as really moving up the higher echelons. They're able to climb up hierarchies very, very quickly, and I'm going to give examples of this as well. So the first one is number 10 for a compound number. This is similar to the life path number where it gives you that strong serpentine kundalini energy. It gives you the core, the root chakra in a very pronounced way. It's the one amplified by zero. So these people are known as the Wheel of Fortune. They're either going to be very, very successful in this life or they're going to be huge failures depending on how they direct this energy. Anybody that has number one, whether your life path is, I guess, compatible with it or not, you still will have the ability to sort of dominate wherever you go just because you have such a pronounced and amplified energy of the number one that it's going to be noticed wherever you go. Your aura is going to kind of just aromanate through a room in that sort of way. People will know that you're there, and people will know that you're probably going to be the boss. Even if you're not the boss right now, you will be the boss in the very near future. The next one is the number 19. The number 19 is considered the primal force of the number one. It's a very powerful number, especially when it comes as a birth number. As a name number, it's very strong as well. It's known as the prince or princess of heaven. And what this means is it makes you somebody who can manifest and start and finish things in a very orderly way. These people are known as the commanding number one. They're like the generals, lieutenants. The people that you see really have like a militant type of discipline and focus on things. When you have this as your name number, you're also known as a very great lover. This will actually add to your sex appeal, whether you're a man or a woman, and it'll make you somebody who can easily find a new partner right away. So if you got a divorce and the name number that you're going by is 19, you probably have a new wife or a new husband within months. Just because you guys have that level of attraction, we were able to do that with ease. The next one would be the number 37. Excuse me, number 28 is first, actually. The number 28 is considered not the best luck number. The only reason why is it has 8 in it, and 8 and the 2 are both not compatible with the number 1. So planetary influence means a lot in Chaldean numerology, and the reason why there's a debate here is because there's the number 2, which is the moon, which is the opposition to number 1. In Chaldean numerology, they don't really get along that well. Some people argue that they're neutral, but to be honest, I just use common sense. Light and dark, they're not getting along. It's sun and moon, they're in opposition with one another. Since the Egyptian times, there's been stories depicted of pretty much the sun and moon gods at war. Then the number 8 is considered really the king of darkness, Saturn, and it's a malefic planet as well. But when it's around number 1, these guys are so similar in traits that for some reason they just don't get along whatsoever. They hate each other. So this is definitely a combination of numbers that just don't get along, and as a result, this is people that are known not to really keep their word. They're misinterpreted a lot in life because of the number 8 sort of energy that's on it. And it still has an amplified version of the number 1 there because of 28, 2 plus 8 adds to 10. So the 1 is trying to overpower these other 2 numbers, and instead of it really working for you, it's working against you. So this is one of those ones where I would say if you have the 28 as a name number, you might want to look to change it. If your short name, like I'm Shem Roy, I go by Shem. If for chance it doesn't, but if Shem vibrated to 28, I'd preferably go by Shem Roy just to make my life a little bit easier, so that I can have a better communication, articulation with people. So when I have that dialogue, it's not being misinterpreted. People are able to understand clearly what I'm saying, and my energy is actually working for me and not against me. All right? The number 37 is next. I was just in a rush to get to that one, I guess. The 37 is a great number. It's known as a royal star. It's the royal star of the bull. These people are very, very strong. They have an extreme sexual energy. They're known as conquerors, kings of conquest, queens, empresses, models. These people are very much able to come from a very low end of society, meaning being pretty much poverty-stricken, almost homeless, and they can reach the top echelons of society very well. There's a kickboxer named Andrew Tate that does have this name number, and as a result, I've seen him firsthand over the last 5 to 6 years pretty much make over $100 million. And he was able to do this through different means, through fighting and through different businesses that he's gone through. He's owned casinos now. He lives in Eastern Europe. He's all over YouTube. He has a huge subscriber base. But he started from nothing. He literally started in pretty much a homeless shelter. And he was able to do all of this just through sheer hard work. But his name number was able to really gravitate that success towards him. I would argue if he didn't have that name number, he wouldn't have attracted the higher level friends that he got. That's another big thing with this number, is that even when you're just on a low level of society, you can still attract very high level people just through your sheer energy alone. And he, in different YouTube videos, has talked about shaking people's hand, almost feeling like he's taking their energy. This is the power of that royal star. It really gives you the energy to go out, expand, and grow your business, and just really perpetuate your personality to people that usually would never even speak to you, but in your case, they make that exception, and they are very much attracted to you because they kind of know in their head that you will definitely be rich. So 37 is a great name to have. It doesn't work for everybody. 37 would not particularly work for a life path 6 because of the 3 aspect there, or a life path 9 because of the 7 in it. Okay? So you guys got to be very careful. I'm saying a lot of good things about some of these numbers, but particularly the 28 and the 37. The 28 was sort of a negative polarity, not the best at all. But the 37 is good for people once you have that numerology compatibility there. It works well. If not, then you're screwed. The last and final one I want to go over is considered, it's arguably next to 37, the most powerful number 1 compound number, which would be the 46. So I did not cover this in the last Chaldean numerology chapter because, like I said, the life paths only went up to 45. The 46 as a name number is so powerful. You have 4, which represents Rahu or Uranus, but really we're talking Eastern, so this is Rahu. This is the demon head. And then you get the 6, which is Venus, which is the planet of materialism and beauty and attraction. This adds to 1, which is 10 again, amplified version number 1. All of these numbers get along extremely well. Rahu and number 1 are very well connected. Venus and Venus and the Sun, and Rahu and the Sun. These guys, all these planets have perfect compatibility, making the person that has this name number very powerful. They're able to reach higher echelons of society, such as being in business tycoons, people that are like master architects, politicians. A politician that has that's very popular in the news right now is Vladimir Putin. He's a double 7. He's a birth number 7 life path 7. So there's no debate between his internal personality and his external personality. But he does have this number 1 there. The number 1 with the number 7 is not really the best mix, because the number 7 typically eclipses it. But like I said, even with 37 over 1, the other name number, it works. It's still, they're able to work together in a cohesive way, but they're not the most compatible. With 46, this really gives the person like a warrior mentality. They're able to overcome every obstacle in their life just through sheer, I guess I would say, just concentration of their energy. And it just helps amplify the energy that you already have. So in Putin's case, he had the number 7 there. He's able to use that energy, his psychic energy, and just put his spiritual energy into manifesting everything he's wanted. Why he's been able to control Russia for the last 20 years, why he's able to try to intimidate the world right now, and things are happening the way that they are. I'm not glorifying this man in any way. All I'm speaking on is a very neutral point, and that Putin does have this energy within him, just like I was talking about Andrew Tate having it with the number 37. If you do have this number, it's overpowering. Even if your life path and name number your life path and birth number are not compatible with this name, it still will provide you some benefits. Just like with the number 37, it's going to provide you with a lot of great benefits that you're able to utilize to get ahead in life, and it'll just rush you up to wherever you are. Like if you're in a whatever company, let's say you worked at McDonald's. No disrespect to McDonald's, but you worked as a cashier. If you have the name number 46 that you're naturally vibrating to, I mean, that's what people call you the most. I said that for Vladimir Putin because everybody calls him Vladimir Putin or simply Putin. If you have that name, you're then able to get ahead very quickly. At McDonald's, you become the manager, probably regional manager within 2 years. Just simply because this number is just naturally attracting you up the hierarchy to go up that food chain, no matter what position you're in. With that knowledge, you can then use this number to get ahead. So if somebody had the number 46 and they said, oh, I have a life path 3, for instance, and 6 and 3 are in opposition. Yeah, but it still might work for you. The only reason why, and I know that sounds very debatable, is because this number 1 is very, very dominant. And even if it's not compatible, it will still lead you to being of a high stature regardless. All right? So that does finalize my video for the number 1, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, just leave it in the comments for me. Aside from that, please, guys, like, subscribe. Holla me. That's it for today, guys. Peace.